Hey guys, today I have a review of the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3 palette. Here's what it looks like. This is an all matte, all neutral eyeshadow palette. It is designed to be like a very straightforward, everyday palette. It can be used as a pairing palette. It's supposed to have all the basic things that you would need, either just to use by itself or to pair with other eyeshadows or eye products that you have. Typically when I'm looking at neutral palettes, they are always missing something that doesn't, like they don't have something essential that I need. And the things that I mostly am lacking in a neutral palette are things like this pale matte. It's almost a white. A true matte black is something I always want to have available. And of course several mid-tone shades that I can use for blending or adding a little bit of depth. So it has all of those basics. It also has these two cream shades here on the side. They do have their own little door. I'm not sure exactly the purpose of the door. I think that it's to prevent getting kick up from the powders into the creams. I've also heard some people say that it could be to help prevent the creams from drying out. I do have another palette like this from Patrick Ta, the Major Dimension 2 palette. It also has two creams, and I've had that one for maybe a year, maybe over a year at this point, and I haven't noticed any drying of those cream shades, so I'm not sure if they do actually dry out or not. Overall, the shades are solid, easy to work with, especially everything in between the white and the black. All the browns, all the mid-tones are very easy to use. They have plenty of color payoff and they blend pretty easy. I do want to point out the warmer shades on the top row are more similar to the mattes in the Major Dimension 2 palette. It's that type of formula that is like really effortless. It seems to blend itself. No patchiness at all, very smooth blend. The cooler tone shades are a little bit harder to work with. They don't go on quite as smooth and they require a little bit more time and effort to get a really nice blended look out of them. Saying that though, I still think they're pretty good, decent quality. I've had way worse cool tone shades than these. These are pretty good, so pretty solid with that. The pale white or off-white shade, this one is has okay color payoff. I would recommend, if you want it to really pop, use it with a dense brush or even like a foam tip applicator, something that will pick up color heavily. Otherwise, if you use like a fluffy brush, maybe you might want to layer it 2 or 3 times to really help it brighten wherever you're applying it to. And then the matte black is another one that's a little bit different. It feels different, it applies different than the rest of the palette. It seems like it's a little bit firmer and I can't pick up quite as much on the brush in one pass as I can with the other shades. So it seems to layer more thin and I have to add more layers and kind of build it a little bit more than the other shades. It was probably the most difficult shade to use in the palette and I ended up doing like, I don't know, maybe like 4 looks with that one. I tried using it by itself all over the lid. I tried with primer, without primer. I tried layering it over this black cream, and doing that gave me the best result. So yeah, just a tricky one to work with, but I still like having this. I think the quality is like on par with other black eyeshadows I've tried. So it's pretty decent. And then the 2 cream shades here, you can use them as bases underneath like some of the deeper mattes here to kind of add more intensity, more depth. They do work that way, but they do crease on me. They shorten wear time overall, so they aren't that type of cream that goes on and just completely sets down dry. They do stay kind of creamy on the lid, but some of that moisture does absorb into the skin and it does kind of set a little bit. The way that I prefer to use them is smudged into the lower lash line with like a pencil brush or something, or using an eyeliner brush to kind of wing out eyeliner up on the top lid. I did try using them on the waterline and they kind of work. They apply that way, but they wear off very quickly. They don't stick around very much. Wear time was around 5 to 7 hours without primer before I noticed it starting to fade and crease. If I did wear primer, I got more like 8 hours. So it's pretty solid on wear time. Maybe just starts creasing just a little bit early. But the couple of times that I did truly give it a good wear test, I noticed that it started creasing somewhat early, but it really took a long time before it got super noticeable and really bad. The packaging, here's what it looks like. It is kind of a reflective mirrored packaging, but they did change it from the previous palette. Here is the Major Dimension 2. This one is very much a mirrored surface, and they have changed it to have this kind of frosty finish over top. So it helps with a little bit of that fingerprinty issue that can happen with this type of packaging. And they have the shade names on the back. They are not inside the palette, so if that's something that you prefer to have, like, just know that there aren't like names you can refer to easily like while you're looking at it. I feel like it opens and closes pretty easily. I have no issues with that. And there is a large, pretty nice quality mirror on the inside. All right, so there is everything that I think about the palette. I hope that was helpful. If it was, let me know, and I will see you in the next one.